Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do an eyeshadow palette Smackdown. This is for the seasonal shadows that they put out as of recently. I'm just going to be going into a little bit of detail with each eyeshadow palette. I've pretty much used all of them several times, so I have an idea of what they're like, and I will tell you my opinions on them and their price point and things like that, and just give you a little detail into the shadows if you are interested in buying them or interested in giving them as gifts to other people. So yeah, so let's just get started. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Buxom eyeshadow palette. This is the eyeshadow palette I used in my last tutorial. I will link that down below. But this eyeshadow palette drew me in for this beautiful green. It's called Penthouse, and that's what I based my whole tutorial around. So it comes with a full-size eyeliner from them and also a little mini mascara. I love their eyeliner. I think it's great. It stays in my waterline for days and it does not come down and smudge and look like raccoon eyes, so I really like that. And I like the fact that they give you a lot. You're getting a lot for your money. I think that the shadows are really beautiful. They have a mixture of mattes and shimmers. It's really only two mattes, really. This color right here and this brown purple right here, and the rest are going to be shimmery, like satin finished eyeshadows. The pigmentation on these are absolutely beautiful. I will just like swatch them for you so you can see on my finger like how beautifully pigmented they are, and they just last forever. And I love this white shade right here because it's a white meets blue, and they just last forever on the lid. I haven't had any problems with them, and I just think for the price point you really can't beat this. This is an excellent gift for someone. I know the green is a little extreme and it might not be an everyday shade that people will use, but the rest of the eyeshadows are pretty day-to-day appropriate and very neutral. So I did really like this product and I was really excited about it, and when I tried it I was very impressed, and I think this is a great shadow palette to pass on for the holidays or just to have in your collection, and you won't go wrong with the eyeliner because it's awesome as well. The next eyeshadow palette I'm going to show you is from Kat Von D. This is the Vida Loca eyeshadow palette. This retails for $59 and it has 24 new shades. It's a really, really bright palette because it's just got the whole spectrum of the rainbow in here. I feel it's really great for those who are adventurous, those who like to play around with color and they don't mind stepping outside of the comfort zone of neutrals, because it's got like really bright pinks and really bright oranges and really bright like greens and blues. So I really like that. She definitely covered all of her fields because she hit every color point in this eyeshadow palette. And the really nice thing about this is that the formulation on these are amazing. I have used Kat Von D eyeshadows in the past. I have an old palette from her that I got like several years ago, and I was not impressed with the quality, but I really felt like she went back in the kitchen and reformulated her eyeshadows, and they are really great. I've used it several times as well and I love it. I love the green in here. That is like one of my favorite shades, in addition to the tangerine shade, which is a really beautiful matte orange, and then the purples are really nice as well. There are a couple eyeshadows in here that don't really work for my skin tone. They come out a little chalky. The color Muse, which is like this really light lilac purple, is a little chalky on me. I set it with the base and it works a little better, but it is a little chalky. So if you are someone whose my skin tone are darker, just be mindful of that. But overall, I give this eyeshadow palette like a 9 out of 10 because it is amazing, and she did do a nice job of incorporating mattes and neutrals and, you know, shimmers and keeping the palette very balanced. The only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10 is because I really feel like this is not going to be something that appeals to everybody because the colors are not just typical of most people, but I do love the quality, and except for that one like lilac shade, they're all really pretty amazing and I'm very impressed with it. So if you're someone who is adventurous and wants to take a ride on the wild side, then definitely look into this palette. It's really nice. The next eyeshadow palette I'm going to share with you guys is one from Tarte. This is the Holidaze eyeshadow palette. Like, first off, what drew me to this palette was the packaging. Like, the packaging is absolutely beautiful. I love it. It's very artistic and it's very unique, and I like the whole theme that Tarte came out with this whole holiday season. And it's very like user friendly as far as traveling. It's a little bulky, but it's got so much product in here that for the size I don't feel like it's too big. You're gonna definitely get a lot of use out of this because it's very like throw it in your purse, or you know, it's very easy to go around with. So this eyeshadow palette retails for $59. It has 24 eyeshadows. Everything's falling out of it. It has 24 eyeshadows, as you can see here. The eyeshadows are a really nice range of color. They have neutrals with a little bit of pops of darkness, but it's more of a neutral palette, 110%. So if you're someone who likes neutral colors, this is something that's going to be totally up your alleyway. I will say though that the eyeshadows are not as pigmented as I would like them to be. I love Tarte as a brand. I think they put out phenomenal products, but when it comes to their eyeshadows, I feel like they're very hit or miss. I like their mattes, but their shimmers are not very pigmented, and I will show you. Like for example, this color right here is just not very pigmented. Like when I put it on my eyes, I really had to like go hard with the product because it just wasn't picking up very well for me. Like all their shimmers are just kind of borderline for me, and they didn't really do much for me. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. This shimmer is actually pretty good. This is the Baby It's Gold Outside. But they are a little like, I don't know, I just wish they were a little bit more pigmented for the price point. $59, you're really expecting a palette to have the really good quality. The mattes are phenomenal. I cannot complain about those. They have a really nice selection of mattes in here. In here, it's got several shades that are great for transitioning depending on your skin tone, and I like that about it because when you get deeper into skin tone, I feel like it's harder to have shades that are great transition shades. I'm always going into a different color because the palettes don't have good transition shades, but this one did a really good job about that. And here goes the little mascara that came with it, which is their Lights Camera Lashes, and it also came with a really cute dual-ended brush that has a really great blending side of it. I don't know where it is right now. And then in addition to that, it has this right here that has 6 eyeshadows. It has a highlight, a bronzer, and a blush. I love this idea, the whole concept of this, because this is very user-friendly. Like to throw in your purse, throw in your makeup bag, whatever you want to do with it, this is really convenient. It's got a really great selection of eyeshadows in here, and I feel like you can definitely create a look with this palette. You'll just probably need like foundation and several other little things. The only thing is that the bronzer is not going to work for my skin tone, unfortunately, but this can also double as a transition shade, I feel, as well. So I like the concept of it. I like the fact that they made this like very user-friendly and very great for like traveling and things like that. And all in all, I do like the palette. I just am not very impressed with the shimmery shades, which was a little disappointing to me personally. But out of the 24 shadows and the additional 6 in that to-go palette, I really can't complain. I would probably give this palette like an 8 or 7 out of 10 because of the shimmery aspect of it. But other than that, I really do like it. I just wish the quality was a tad bit better. But Tarte is phenomenal with like 99% of the products. I love Tarte. So moving on from this bad boy, I'm gonna go on to the Makeup Forever. This is the palette 15 Artist Shadows, and this is like for me. I absolutely love Makeup Forever's eyeshadows. I think they are the best formulation of eyeshadows out there on the market. They're one of my favorites. Like Anastasia, MAC, and Makeup Forever are my ride or dies right now, and I feel like the pigmentation in them are unbeatable. Like you really cannot find another shadow that are as pigmented as any of the 3 that I listed. And when they released this palette, I was a little bit weary of it because it's not like a palette that you're gonna reach for every single day because it's got some really loud shades. But I had to have it because I was like, you know what, I love their quality of eyeshadows and I know I'm gonna fall in love with the palette. So I got it and I used it several times and I love it. The formulation is so beautiful. It's that gel formulation they have. It's so good, and it's great if you want to have some pops of color. I love this like bluish green up here. This is beautiful, and I mixed this with this one day and it made like the most perfect beautiful blue on my eyelids. And it's also got some really neutral tones as well. This is great if you are someone who likes to go back and forth between neutral eye looks and like pops of color. This is a palette that's gonna definitely like cater to those kinds of people who are willing to go back and forth. The only thing is that they do not have any mattes in this. It's completely shimmery satin finishes, so that's the only downside of this palette. But other than that, like, I absolutely love it. This is something that's great for like the makeup lover who loves eyeshadows and just loves to play around with different shades and stuff like that. This is something I'd suggest for that, and the quality is phenomenal. I will give you a couple swatches of some of the colors. Like, this is the blue, like bam in your face blue. The purple is beautiful as well. I love that. It's like a very iridescent purple. I like the way it looks on the lid. And then I will go in with this gold. Oh, it's like just a beautiful copper tone, and they swatch beautifully. They just are so buttery, and I just love them so much. Like, I love this brand, and I love what they've been doing with their line lately, and I just feel like this palette, like a 10. A 10. Even though it doesn't have mattes, I love the formulation of the shadows, and it just did not disappoint me. So definitely recommend this. This retails for $59, I believe, and it's got 15 shades. So definitely take a look into it. Just swatch it if you're kind of on the edge about it, because it is amazing, and I swear you will like it if you do decide to purchase it. So another palette I got from Tarte is the Tartelette in Bloom. I used it only once, and I used it today to create this look on my eyes. This retails for $45. It's got 12 shadows, 9 of which are matte and 3 are shimmers. I bought the original Tartelette palette when it released. It's got like purples, like really mauve tones, like very pink hues with purples, and I love purple. Purple's totally up my alley. I loved the concept of that palette, but when I used it on my eyes, it just looked very chalky on me, and I did not like it. Like, the quality just wasn't there for me personally. I don't know if it was just my skin tone or my technique, but I tried it for like a couple months and I just was not impressed, so I ended up returning it. So I was a little weary about this one, but when they were releasing the pictures for it and they were like all over Instagram, I was very curious, because this has got my name written all over it. Pretty much this red brown over here is what made me want to buy this palette, because that's just like one of my signature colors. I love that color. And when I went into Ulta and I swatched it, I was like, okay, the quality's there. I was very impressed. The other one I just bought offline and I didn't try it out. So I will swatch a couple of the colors for you. So the color I have on my inner lid is called Funny Girl. Very pigmented. Love it. Beautiful. I will show you another one. I'll show you the matte. I'll show you the red brown that I love. It's called Leader. Very pigmented. And then lastly, I will show you Firecracker, which is like a coppery kind of shade, and the pigmentation on that is beautiful as well. So I really feel like Tarte stepped it up for this palette. I love the concept of it, and this will definitely be something that I feel like is good for on the go and traveling. I think that they didn't have a good transition shade for me. They do have transition shades, but not the one that I would typically wear. But other than that, like, this palette is definitely, like, for me, a 10 out of 10. And I definitely suggest it for the price point of $45. I feel like you get a lot of product for your money. I mean, it's 12 shades. And it's got a really good, like, versatility of mattes versus neutrals. So I really like that. And the color spectrum is just, like, bomb. So the next palette I'm going to talk to you about is the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. This retails for $58. It's got 15 shadows, and when I saw that she was releasing this, I was like, must have it. And I was like counting down the days to the release of it, and I was very excited. And when I saw the picture on it, the color that drew me in is this color right here, which is Punk. It's like a red brown mixed with like purple, and I love that. It's pretty similar to the one in Tarte, and I just like the spectrum of colors she had in here. And I was like, I don't know if it was gonna work for me personally, because I thought that they're a little like neutral for my skin tone, but I decided to give it a try because I saw some swatches of it on someone who was my same skin tone. So I was like, okay, it swatched beautifully on her skin, so maybe I will give it a shot. But I have been using this for like 2 weeks now, and I'm not a huge fan. Like, I hate to say this because I like Urban Decay palettes, but I was super pumped for this. I wanted it so badly and it just did nothing for me. I just feel like the pigmentation of the colors they have in here are just complete duds for me. The shimmery shade, for example, Bathwater, like when I put this on my eyes, it does nothing. Like it literally just like falls off and it doesn't do anything. Like the pigmentation is just very bland. And for the price point of $58, I was hoping it'd do a lot better. The color Steady is also another dud for me. It just comes off and just doesn't do anything. Like it does not pop on my eyelids at all. And usually like those like lighter shimmery colors really show and stand like today. And I just didn't like it. I do like the whole concept of it. I like the colors that she placed in it. I think she did a good job as far as the color aspect of it, but the quality just to me isn't there. And I just wasn't impressed, and I just do not suggest it because I don't like it personally. I really just use this punk shade, and that's the color I've been using the most. The mattes are okay, but the shimmers are just a complete like thumbs down for me, and I'm just not impressed. So this palette for me is not something that I would be giving away as a gift. I love the packaging, I love the concept, I love Gwen Stefani, but this is just not doing it for me. And you know, I would think for like $58, $59 that this would be something that is like bam in your face, blow your mind product, but for me it just wasn't cutting it, and I just do not suggest it. And for me it got like a 5 out of 10. So this one, not so much a lover for me. The next eyeshadow palette I'm going to talk to you about is the Lorac Mega Pro palette. This is still at Ulta. This retails for $59, and this eyeshadow palette is just very unique. I love these palettes. They came out with one last year around this time, and I loved it. It had a really great arrangement of shades, and when they released this one, I was really excited for it as well. It's got 32 eyeshadows, 16 of which are shimmer and 16 of which are matte. It's got a very broad spectrum. I love that she incorporated like a lot of different shades. Like you can usually like need other shades to complete an eye look with different palettes, but not this bad boy. Like this one has got it all. The shades are not very big, but you do get a lot of them. I just feel like this is a phenomenal palette, and I'm very impressed with it. I love the color spectrum. It's got a lot of like really light colors. I wish you would have added a little bit more warmth in it, but you know, all in all, I cannot complain because the pigmentation on these shadows, like not one of these rubbed me the wrong way, or I don't think has good pigmentation. I love Lorac's eyeshadows. They're like one of my favorite palettes of all time, and I feel like they're phenomenal products. And this is just such a great to-go palette. Like it's definitely one that if you're someone who travels a lot, definitely look into it because I really feel like you'll like it. And this could go towards a lot of different skin tones. Like I just feel like this palette is the bomb, and I obsess over it, and it's just great. That's all. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. So moving on from that palette, I'm going to talk to you about the Anastasia Beverly Hills Self-Made palette. This retails for $35. It's got 14 shadows in here, and it also comes with a really cool double-ended brush, which is somewhere around here. But you guys, if you watch my channel, you know that me and Anastasia, we're hitting it off so hard right now. I've been loving everything that she's releasing. Like I am so impressed. For such a new brand, she is like knocking it out of the park, and she's really giving people a run for their money, because for $35 you're getting, let's see, 14 shadows. They're a good size amount of shadows, and she hits every color aspect you would possibly need in a shadow. And I think that she has like great transition shades, great mattes, great shimmers, like really nice pops of color. And this pink champagne, that's my boo. Like me and her, we chill all the time because it's just such a great palette. And I have another palette from her. It is the Shadow Couture, I believe, and that's really what sparked this whole like love of Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I just cannot say enough great things about her products. Like the pigmentation is amazing. This deep purple shade, bae, like it's beautiful. Pink champagne, like girl. And hot chocolate, I love for outer. Like I just 10, like 12. I love it so much. This eyeshadow palette is just doing things for me. I'm obsessing over it, and I suggest it to everyone because you cannot beat it for the price point. Like, she has got it down packed and she's mastered the formulation of shadows, and I have no complaints, like not even one. I love it so much. So the last palette I have for you guys is the Too Faced. This is Le Grand Palais. I don't have a French accent. Eyeshadow palette that is launched through Sephora. This comes with 15 eyeshadows, 3 larger eyeshadows, and 4 face powders. I love Too Faced. I love their holiday packaging, and I love their holiday ideas. And when they release like new palettes, I'm always like gung-ho, like release date, I'm on it, I'm there, and I'm gonna order it, because I just feel like Too Faced is one of the best brands on the market, and I just think that their products are phenomenal. I love the whole concept of this. This is a very travel friendly palette. It just very sleek, easy to throw in your purse or travel bag, and I love the color selection. He just did such a great job with mixing like mattes and neutrals and pops of colors, and then like I think that the shades that they put for the face blushes and highlights are phenomenal because they can go towards so many different skin tones, and the quality of them is amazing. I love this palette. I've been using it. The pigmentation is great. I will show you a few shades. They've got some like repeat shades from last year. This is Moon on Their Wings. I will show you this blue shade, which is like a really beautiful pop of color. I like that as well. And then I will show you the pink, which is just a really beautiful pop as well. So I really never have anything bad to say about the Too Faced eyeshadows. I feel like they're always great and they always impress me. And I just think that these are really great novelty items to have in your collection. And they're great gifts because they're just so cute. In addition to the eyeshadows, it also came with a mini melted lipstick in the color Peony. And it came with a mascara and a primer, so you pretty much hit all your bases, and that retails for $58, and I love it. I definitely give that product a 10 out of 10 and suggest it. There's like so many other Too Faced palettes I want that are at Ulta. I just haven't gotten around to getting them, but they're definitely on my wish list, and I'm gonna get them soon. So yeah, I hope you guys found this I don't know, haul type review beneficial, and thank you guys so much for watching, and do not forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see or what you guys think down below, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye guys.